Supported by and do not reflect those of the Evening Rush Network. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Hi, how you doing? Welcome to the Chris and Nina Real Estate Podcast. Nina had an engagement tonight. She won't be with us, but in her place, I have Alex. Alex, how you been, Alex?
What's going on? How are you? How's everything? I'm okay. Thanks for having me here.
Yes, he's a developer in want to say the East Coast?
Well, we've been all over.
So. Yeah. So we're here today to talk about real estate, and also, how was your week? How's September been for you?
Well, so far it's been great. Thanks God, everything okay. Everything business-wise is going a little slow, but there is always something to do.
Right. And your son, he's back in school?
Yeah. Actually, he started last week. My daughter is back in Boston.
Okay.
So, everything goes.
So your daughter's in college?
Yeah, my daughter's in college.
Okay.
Yeah, she's in Boston.
And so she's going to take over the business when she's finished with college?
Well, hopefully my son, he's going.
Yeah, I saw that when we were doing some deals over the summer. So, I see your son being ready to pick up properties and transform them.
Yeah, he's going to be an architect. So we lead in that way. My daughter is going to be a doctor, so I don't see any relation with real estate.
Well, if somebody gets hurt on site, she can she can patch him up,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so my week was great. I went into, oh my goodness, right now the foreclosure, like that break, when we did COVID, the court system slowed down. I'm here to tell you it's back up and full steam ahead. So I did a couple of foreclosure appraisals. Some of these homes, man, I had to bring my combat boots out, and one home I had to take like 5 showers after. It was just disgusting. It was like, whoa, was this come out smell? Like when somebody cooks with grease and they smell like grease. It was like I was in the house and I came out smelling like dog and all kinds. It was a hot mess, man. It was one of the experiences I kind of want to forget. And the sad part, though, people live in these homes. I don't understand how and I had a COVID mask on. I needed to stuff tissues in my nose and put the mask on. It was crazy. I don't understand. It's sad that people find themselves in these situations where not only did they have dogs, but they also had holes in the ceiling, and then they had these when people send food to the Caribbean, like those big canisters, there was no food in them. There was just water, collecting because it rained. So it's and people live in these. I was like, I don't know how they eat. I don't know where they get their food. I don't know where to use the bathroom. I just know I wanted to get out of there quick.
Yeah. It's kind of an impact when you're going to walk into those houses.
Yeah, is that. And then I went to this house in Bushwick. I think it's a 3-family, and you go inside, the roof was collapsing. Then on the second floor, it looked like the second floor ceiling was about to collapse. So I did the best I could, but I was not walking through that house, man. It was just, I'm surprised they didn't write me back where the bathrooms. I was saying the same thing because everything was destroyed. I was like, I don't even know why they locked the building. There's no way anybody could even try to squat in that. It was terrible. So that was my week doing that stuff. I also have a sports podcast we shot last night, and so that's the second episode. So I'll have that going on as well. And so how long have you been in real estate, Alex?
I was an agent back in 2003,
Okay.
2004. I was an agent for 4 years. Until 2008 when the market crashed.
What company were you with?
I was in Century 21 and Grand Centurion.
Okay.
And a little, most of little real estate agents.
Yeah.
Yes, but I was very unhappy sharing my commission, so I was always looking for.
So did you start buying properties as an agent or when you left?
Right when I left.
Okay.
Yeah, when I left, most of the properties that I was selling, they were having problems paying the mortgage. Yeah, because back then the market went crazy. The same person can buy up to 5 properties. The mortgage brokers, they manage a way to sell to the same people a lot of properties. I never understand how they did it because I was just starting.
Yeah.
So the same person, the mortgage broker told me he qualified for another 3 houses.
Yeah.
But he was like, he's a delivery guy.
Oh, that's when it was easy to qualify and buy homes, and they were giving out all those mortgages. Yes.
Without money, and they actually pay him $5,000 at closing.
Wow.
And they finance 108% of the value of the house.
Wow.
So they I explained the numbers, but they said it was okay. But then everybody started calling me after a year, after 2 years, can't afford it.
Yeah.
I'm working 60 hours a week trying to keep up.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know short sale exists. No. So I get with my attorney, I explain the situations because a lot of these people didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I saw very tight numbers, so they said it was okay, but by the end of the day, they couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
So we sit with the attorney tell me the options they have.
Yeah.
Foreclosure, they can give the keys to the bank and the bank giving some money. Or one of the other options was short sale. A short sale when they can actually buy another house after 2 years. They can, whatever the price the banker for the house, the rest of the debt will be forgiven.
Yeah.
They give a payoff. So it was like the best deal for those buyers.
Yes.
So we start working in short sales. All of a sudden, after 6 months, we have 25 files. I have to start hiring people
and this is your company, or this is when you were in the office?
When I was in the office, but I did an extra company so they can on the side so they can handle only short sales.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, it was that
that amount of people. It was everything. I was working for the community because most of these were my community: Spanish people, Ecuadorians, Colombians.
So what section was this? Was Queens?
Queens.
Queens, Flushing,
Corona, Jackson Heights, East Elmhurst.
Okay.
Elmhurst. All these parts were crazy. The market was crazy. Everybody was losing their homes.
Yeah.
So people start, the situation was chaotic. It was something like what is happening right now.
Yeah, and the thing that's right now, it's the end of the year, right? And Shone asked, it's Brooklyn of the Brown Table asked, is the end of the year is a great time to buy or a great time to sell? But right now, we're not seeing a lot of, normally there's a lot of commercial movement in September.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not really moving. People are hesitant. And I don't know if because COVID, people working from home and going back to work. I don't know why this year in particular, we're not seeing that movement in the commercial market.
Well, interest rates came up.
Yeah.
Like last year it was 3%.
Yeah.
Now it's 6%.
That's another thing.
100% more than it was last last year.
Yeah.
So, people is worried that the market is going to crash.
Yeah. Did you read in China?
Yeah.
They're actually demolishing buildings where people are not paying their mortgages.
Yes.
That is, I was like, wow, that is, they're not trying to work something out. They're demolishing, tearing it down because people aren't paying their mortgages. That's wow. That's just.
That affects the stock market.
Yes.
I have to move my stock to another company because that was really going to affect them.
And they're saying it's going to affect us over here sooner or later. What's happening over there? That's another, like, people are hesitant to put their deals on the market because there's just a lot of confusion on where we're, even though New York market is great. It's it's different from everywhere else, but still people are hesitant because of the interest rates, like you said, and also where are we going? Overall, it's a little bit of confusion, I feel.
Yeah, a lot.
So like, when did you? So you started out
2008. I started investing all the money that I made.
That you made
as
your
an
commissions,
agent. Yeah. But we were like 100 agents because the market was so hot.
Yeah,
but
it was hot, white hot back then.
From all those agents, like, when the season was over, when 2008 came, and nobody was buying anymore, like 10 agents stay as agents.
Yeah,
everybody else have to leave, and because the money was coming in a lot, but I don't know if it's a culture, but nobody starts saving. I saved every single penny. I put it in the bank. I never changed I was driving a Honda back then.
Yeah, something simple, right?
Yeah,
something light.
And all the people that was around me start buying really huge. Start getting
BMWs and
$200,000 cars, renting an apartment in the city. It was like, what the hell? This is gonna,
The funny thing about real estate, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of agents don't own a home. They sell them. They don't own. They'll get a deal and sell it, but don't buy it or hold it, and don't realize that you could build equity and still keep making your commission. That's what you did, right? Like I assume you saw it differently.
Yeah, I knew the market was gonna crash because when you get into something that is good, you have to get the most information that you can.
Yeah.
So you can keep it. You're gonna do this for a living.
Yeah.
It's like in any other profession. If you don't upgrade, you don't keep up, you're gonna be left behind.
Because those commissions don't necessarily keep going and going. Like where we are now, we're in a holding pattern, but best believe we're gonna come out of the holding pattern, and it's like a wave. It's like you go up, you come down, you go up, you come down. But when you own property in New York City, you're going to build equity. So that's why I tell people, if you have a business and you don't own property in New York, you're not supporting your business, because you can use your property to, no matter what happens, because everybody, I don't care what business you're in, there's seasons. And sometimes in some seasons you're making a lot of money, and some seasons you're not, and you may need to tap into your equity to hold you until you can ride through that bad season, and then you can put the equity back and continue on the next wave. It says you never know what they might start doing here. That's what Brooklyn of the Brown Table says. But the thing is, New York is just so. New York is, I want to say, it's the epicenter of the world, because you name it, people from all around the world own properties, and that's the reason why property values don't really dip in New York, because we have such a multicultural class of people that invest in New York City, from Russia, from China, from Jerusalem, you name it, they own buildings in the city. Yeah. And so the value, because of this, because we have all this income coming from outside of New York, is why we're able to hold even when the economy's bad, we're able to maintain our housing value and we don't really dip.
Yeah, New York is a strong market.
It's a very strong market.
Yeah, when the market goes down, New York stay. New York
stays stable.
If it lose a little bit. It's not like in the South, like Florida.
Yeah.
When the market crashed there, an apartment that is $600,000 come up to $150,000.
Yeah.
And that's how it's affected down there. But New York is not.
It's not.
It's not. New York is strong.
Like you would have people spend about 10 to 20 million and just sink it into real estate and not even worry about making money from that money just because they know it's a safe place to hold their money.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to lose that money. But if you keep it in the bank and you got to pay taxes and you go through other things, whereas if you sink it in properties, it builds equity and you don't really have the tax implications are different.
Oh yeah. It's better than money in the bank.
Yeah.
On the property in New York is better than money in the bank. Thanks to the property in New York, I sent my daughter to college.
Yes.
I own more properties thanks to the properties that I kept for myself.
Yeah.
I pay off those properties and I get money from those properties to get more business.
Yeah.
It's like, it's what I do for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So do you remember your first property?
Oh, yeah. Wow. It was a house in Corona.
Uh-huh.
It was a 2-family house, but there were like 7 apartments in the house.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that bad because the tenants moved. They were good tenants, so they just move out. I helped them relocation. I gave them money to pay the first month, real estate, and I paid the truck so they can take their stuff. I make it very easy, and they were nice. I was lucky that way. But then I didn't know anything about the winter, that you have to winterize the house. I bought the house in November. By December, the neighbor called me and said there is the fire department. There is a fire truck outside my house breaking into the door. Yeah, the house was, the basement was flooring up to the ceiling.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know anything. I have to learn the hard way. I was so desperate because I put so much money in the house. I bought it with my pocket money. So, wow, I was so scared. 1 in the morning, I was putting water out of the basement. Yeah. Well,
wow.
Yeah. Things that you have to learn. But yeah.
See, my first house was it was on a boulevard and it was near a gas station. And it was when I first moved to Queens. So I bought the house and then I moved in and it was by a gas station and it had rats. And the rats were like this big. And
rats.
It was 2 of them and they were breaking through the wall and it was wild. So I had to call an exterminator and he put it looked like dynamite, but he put something and he smoked them. So the rats died, but it stank for a whole month and a half. It was crazy. So I had to find some place else to lay my head until like that smell was just crazy. And the house was like, it was interesting because every time I drive by it all the time now. And I remember I was like, wow, before I got married, I was like, yeah, I lived right there. It was the very first time. And I was used to living in an apartment. So I also didn't know water bill and other things. I was like, oh, okay, you got to pay a water bill? Who knew? But it was it was a good experience. And then here we are today. Like I don't own as many as you, but I own a couple of other homes. But with that home, and then I had a tenant on the second floor in that house, but the rats never made it up that high. Speaking of which, please thank you for viewing and make sure you download the Evening Rush app. And also hit the like button and subscribe as well. So when you bought your first house, like, what was the feeling like? Was it like when you got to close and you cleared escrow and?
Wow, it was amazing. That was the first time I was holding in my hand a check for $240,000.
Wow.
That was like, wow. this was one deal. I went through hell, but at the end, almost like 6 months after that, I sold the house. That was the profit.
Yeah.
And I had a partner. So he woke up with like 100 something.
Yeah.
So it was like, wow, this is what we have to do.
Yeah.
That's.
And it's worth it when you go through, like, even now when people see, like, now the market is a little slow. It's not as many deals. But we know we've been through this. What year was that? 2003, we said? What year was that? Like, we're in 2022.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you that the waves just, because then you had the, also when Hurricane Sandy hit, it was a little interesting on the market then. And then we had to bounce back. And then when you have different presidents, sometimes it slows down when the president comes and then they put a new policy and changes and then things just take off. So sometimes it's ebbs and flows. And that's why, like, people don't buy houses, because the number one thing, right, would you say, is like budgeting?
Yeah.
You can't, like, that 240, you had to be economical with it, because sometimes you don't know when you're going to get the next 240.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes deals look real good and you're going to close and then they don't close. It could be something small. It's hard to count your chickens before they hatch when you're dealing with real estate. Yes,
sitting in the closing table so many times, everybody back up.
Yeah.
The closing table. So after you got your checks is when you make your deal.
Yeah.
Not when you have a closing day, not even when you're in the closing. But it's worthwhile.
Yeah, like I had a foreclosure one time where the woman was happy, we hanging out, she's smiling, and then when the checks came and when she saw what people were getting paid, she got up and said, "I'm not signing nothing. I don't like what you're getting paid. You're getting paid." And she walked out and we never heard from her again. That deal just it got demolished. And she was in foreclosure, and that's the crazy part. But everybody in real estate is a business owner. It don't matter if you sell hair products. It don't matter. Like, I've been in homes where I had this one woman, she had a 3-family. And at that time, this was maybe 2006, and she had a hair salon, and it was over off of Utica Avenue and Atlantic, somewhere around there. It was a new construction building, but it was only worth about 6. So her mortgage she was underwater even before you go into the foreclosure stuff. Just the price she bought, they got her good. They banged. They whoever walked away from that deal made a lot of money, and she got stuck holding the bag. But she was running her business out the salon, and it was her first property and her only property. And so we were telling her, like, you got to let this property go. We got to do a short sale. And she was like, "No, I'm going to save it. I'm going to keep it. And next thing you know, the bank said, "Hey, give us the keys." It's a wrap. She lost it. They took the property. I don't know what happened to her business. And I never saw a nice woman, but sometimes the emotional attachment, can get the best of us.
Yes.
Because I think if it was just a business purchase, she would have thought differently. But she had a salon on one floor, she had an aunt on one floor. Yeah, she loved that building. You walk in, she transformed. It was pretty cool. I was like, if I had hair, I would get my hair done. But I haven't had hair since like the 90s. So did you meet your wife through real estate, or do y'all go back to high school or something like that?
No. Well, my first wife, the mother of my child, I met her before everything, because when I was in college. Then I got divorced through the process.
Got you.
And then.
So the woman I met now, she works with you, right? That's why I thought, like.
Yeah. She works with me.
Yeah, she's your boss. You can't say no. She might be watching the show. Oh man, yeah, I met my wife in real estate too. I met her in college, and then we didn't see each other for a while, and then she called me about a deal. I'm like, "Oh, you're in real estate?" And so ever since then, we just never stopped talking. Yeah, she came to close a deal, but I closed a different deal. So, and so that was one of the blessings of getting into. And then I got into like appraisals and everything, because you got to figure out how to make money when the wave. And it's crazy because it was one time, man, I think I crashed the car. I was getting so much work because the foreclosure scene was wild. It was just like every other property, I was just waking up in the morning and then the sun going down. And I'm still like, I don't even know how I ate. It was so crazy at one point. But I think Bank of America stopped doing some of the products that I was working. And so then like things start to shift. But sometimes that's how it is. There's always changes in the laws, changing, how the information you provide to your tenants and what you can do. You got to be careful. You can't say certain things, or you can't, like, if you're going to rent to somebody and they have kids, you can't say, no, I don't want no kids. They could sue you. That could be like some type of discrimination.
Yeah. You have to be careful with that.
Yeah. So someone, Brooklyn of the Brown Table, is asking, what would be a good location for a starter house? Where would you, like, if you had a family that never owned a home, where would you recommend they buy their first home?
If you're a first-time buyer, your income allows you to pay a single-family house. I would buy it outside New York, like Long Island, if you have kids.
Yes.
Up in Westchester. If you can make a little more money, if you do your numbers and you can afford a little more, then I buy a 2-family house.
That's what I was going to say. Yes.
Queens, Brooklyn. You can still find good deals.
Yes.
You can still find good deals.
And pay minimum, like you'll have other people paying your mortgage, and then you can pay a small piece of it depending on how, like if it's a 2-family, and like, let's just say like it's illegal to rent the basement, but if you own the home, you could live in the basement and rent 2 floors in a 2-family and have them pay your mortgage, and you might not have to pay anything depending on the numbers.
Yeah, depending on the numbers, you have to always, like, you have to look your numbers. You have to be real.
Yeah.
And you have to put like at least 6 months, untouchable 6 months, in case you got a bad tenant.
Yes.
In case the basement flood,
the roof comes down.
Yeah, but you prepare for all of that. Of course, you got an inspector for the house. Make sure that the house is gonna stay. It's not going
like
anywhere.
Get blown away. Yeah. But let me tell you something though. Some things the inspector just can't see because no one's living in the home, so they're just there for one day. So that's why it's just good to have emergency money no matter what they tell you. Because my house, man, one day water was just coming through the walls. Whatever cap they used was a piece of not good, and so the water. But the inspector can't see through the wall. And then also it was wintertime, so the roof couldn't really get a good read on the roof, so I had to replace the roof. These are things, but I guarantee you it's ebbs and flows. What you put in is you're gonna get out if you manage, if you ain't off buying no fur coats with your equity and doing crazy. I've seen people go on all-inclusive first-class trips and then come back broke and be like, hey, I need a new boiler, and they don't have boiler money. and then the thing is, people get you in this business. When you don't have good credit, when you don't have money, you're going to pay. People are going to keep you in debt because you can't afford to pay things off. So it's kind of like, remember those furniture places, like when you rent, they rent you furniture and they're getting you because you're paying way more than what the furniture costs, but you're making low payments. Yeah, you're never going to finish those payments. So they're going to keep you. Well, in real estate, if you don't have money and you need a boiler and you go to some plumber, they'll get something for you, but they're going to get you. It's going to cost you more. And that's why it's best to hold on to your money. Cash is king. Sometimes you can get things way cheaper, but I'm also tell you this. Make sure you check your boiler, your water tank. Do that in the summer. Because when the winter time comes, these plumbers ain't no joke. They're going to get you. And you can't do nothing about it. Because I don't care how many YouTube videos you watch. Try to do some plumbing. You're going to make a problem worse. There's no video in the world that's going to help you remove, unless you're really nice and handy. It's just certain things, certain people are in high demand, like around October, November, and getting a plumber they are expensive. Also, electricians, but electricians is all year round. But electricians are reasonable because they're all year round. But plumbers in the wintertime, man, I think they make their whole salary in October, November. Oh, don't call them in December. You're going to pay. Yeah, it's a crazy business that way. And you learn, sometimes you just learn the hard way. You know, also, like, it's a good to have a network of like you have a network of people you could call, like if you need a mortgage guy or you need a housing guy or you need a like there's some houses that you got to use a certain kind of contractor. You can't just use a regular contractor, right? Like
of course.
What are they called? Darn it, I forgot the name, but it's a certain type of contractor that got like a list. So you just keep a network of people to work on different situations when you own multiple homes.
Yeah, of course. You need to have a plumber 24/7.
Yes.
On call. I always have, you know. I used to take care of the plumbers myself, but it was driving me crazy.
Wait, you knew how to do plumbing?
No, not myself, but they were calling me.
Okay. I got you.
You know, I gave my phone to the tenant, so 3 a.m, hey, the heat is not working.
Yeah.
Hey, so I have to give that to somebody else. But you know, you're always, if you're responsible for that unit, you have to provide heat, electricity, water, because there is no way around.
Nope. And also if they call the city on you,
you're dead.
Oh man, it's a nightmare, man. You just, and it's not even expensive. It's just time consuming and could be expensive if they level you a fine or whatever. But 9 times out of 10, if you could take pictures or show, they'll remove it. But it's just so time consuming.
Yeah. But you know, everything, if you prepare, like, you know, read your stuff, get ready, study your situation, financial, you know, put that money, don't touch it. Take care of your credit. Like, you know, like Christopher say, your credit is always gonna give you access to service. So you can pay out later. But you always need to have your money for mortgage 6 months. It's gonna pay off. You know, it's better than money in the bank, because if you got a good opportunity to buy another house, you have a good opportunity to get a business, you got a good opportunity to, you know, education for your kids, that all that is gonna give you the house. The house, every time you paying your mortgage, is like you're putting money in the bank. Money in the bank that's gonna pay off in the future.
All right. Listen, we're gonna take a short break. We'll be back momentarily. We'll see you on the other side.
Looking to podcast shows and do not know where to start? The Evening Rush Network can help you with that. Call us at 929-441-2417 or email us at theeveningrushnetwork@gmail.com for dates and prices. We got you for all your podcast needs. The Evening Rush Network. Tune in, subscribe, and share.
Hi, my name is Akim Van. I own the Bakery on Bergen in Prospect Heights, Brooklyn, New York. Now, I opened the Bakery on Bergen because I am a second-generation Brooklyn native, and I am a firm believer that if you are afforded the opportunity to invest back into your community, you should do so. I think the Bakery on Bergen invests back into the community by virtue of being here, first and foremost. Again, when you invest into your neighborhood, that means your dollar is turning over in your neighborhood. So that automatically invests back into the community. But above and beyond that, the Bakery on Bergen for the past almost 8 years has been...
Hey, welcome back to the Chris and Nina Real Estate Podcast Show. Exciting news. Next week, we're going to be live from the Bakery on Bergen. We're going to be talking entrepreneurship and how ownership can help you within your business. So please tune in. That's going to be next week live from the Bakery on Bergen. Also, if you didn't do it, please download the Evening Rush app. Please like and subscribe. And so I'm here with Alex. Alex been in business since 2003 as an agent. Then he went on to start his own company. And what's the name of your company?
Romero Capital Group.
Yes, Romero Capital Group. And so if you ever interested, they have homes for sale as well. We also, the house that you just saw, that's 2039 East 70th Street in Mill Basin. Please, it's Five Borough Realty. Please contact me. Also, you could contact me on Chris and Nina Real Estate Podcast on Instagram. To find out any more information, we have a ton of other listings, and you have a lot of listings as well.
Yeah.
We work together on different deals. That's how I've come to know Alex. So when you started your capital group, what was the biggest project that you like that really put you like that spearheaded, that anchored your business?
Well, we bought, I was really scared with my brother. Me and my brother, we started this. So we were really scared to start building from ground.
Right.
So we didn't want to do it, but it was, once you get into investment, real estate.
Yeah.
What's the next step? You always have to grow.
Yes.
Have to grow. What's next to me? Because we start buying and selling, flipping properties a lot, but we want to be builders.
And mainly in Flushing?
No, the five boroughs.
Oh, the five boroughs?
Yeah,
okay.
We did a lot of Brooklyn. We did a lot of Queens, 80%, but Bronx, Westchester. Then we bought in Florida. Then we built a huge project in my country, in Ecuador, 240 properties, with a beachfront view, properties. It was a beautiful experience, and we did it. We thought we were never gonna do it, but back then when we saw what's next. Okay, what's next? 4 years trying to get into that business. Like every other business, there is a lot of people who don't want you to go there.
Yes.
They want to push you, keep you down, but you have to keep pushing hard.
Yes.
So we start building from ground. It was hard because you have to learn. If you start asking around, they're never gonna give you the right answer. You have to learn doing it.
And it's a little political. Sometimes that pushback is a little political.
Yeah.
That's the other side that people don't see. And sometimes things are political. Sometimes a certain group of people can control certain areas. And if you get a connection to get in that area, the blowback is from the people that have the control, that feel that should be theirs.
Yeah. They don't want you to get there. They feel that that's their area.
Yes.
There's you cannot come from outside to to buy anything here.
Buy anything. They'll call the department on you for nothing.
Woof.
They'll just, it's a dirty game sometimes. And, it's just, and it don't even have anything to do with money. It's just the fact that who are you to be here and own it? It's crazy, this business. And even if you're not living it, just as an investor,
sometimes, I don't even have to show that I'm the owner.
Yeah.
So I pay the people in the area. I learned that when you buy, like, let's say Long Island and X-Town, that there is very close community.
Yeah.
I buy a house in there. I hire people who is in town so I don't get any trouble.
Yeah.
I pay an architect in the area. I pay the contractors in the area. And just start seeing what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't want them to find out that I own there, because the first time when I bought, let's say when I bought in not far from Queens, actually.
Okay.
Queens. What was that area like? Far Rockaway, before Far Rockaway, going down.
Woodmere?
Abernett, I guess.
Avern?
Yes.
Avern, yeah.
Yeah. I started building in there. I went in there and people start saying, like, who the hell is this guy? Why is he owning 3 lots? Why is he going to start building? Why he knows about us? And they call the building department. They call, everybody. And I have to put somebody who have to watch the properties, because we start getting it start getting really heavy. So, but, you have to keep your mind where your goal is.
Yes. So what would be a tip to build wealth using real estate?
Like, know where you stand, because this business, it's very good business. But a good tip is to learn how to do it.
Yes.
Learn how to do it. Don't just go by impulse. Like, I buy this house in 100 and I'm going to sell it tomorrow in 200 and I'm going to pack it 100. It doesn't work like that. You have to learn taxes, commissions, money. Even if you put your own money, you have to pay yourself interest.
Yes.
How long you can keep that property, how much you're going to spend in insurance, fixing the house. So learn about the business.
And make sure you have a great attorney, by the way. Make sure you have a great real estate attorney. Make sure you have a tax accountant, a CPA that does real estate and understands real estate, not someone that just does corporate taxes or different entities, but make sure it's real estate based so that they can. And not only that, when you go to a good person, the network, I can't tell you, how many people use your attorney? It's crazy. It's like you get when you get somebody that's with powerful people, you get in on things just by association. It's amazing. And so when you're building, another thing too, like sometimes people don't want to pay to play. Right. I'm pretty sure your first deal, you probably didn't make as much as the deals you might be doing now, because you pay an actual fee to get in the game.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're building relationships, you pay a little extra money for services, because people can give you tips. People gonna bring you into podcasts. Like there's just so many benefits that you get when you build it, and sometimes you just don't see it. It's not a dollar, or it's not an actual service. It's just a combination of things. When you treat people a certain way, how it attracts deals, or attracts tips, or attracts, if you need a service for something else and you're dealing with somebody you met a year ago, and next thing you know, they're giving you some tips that could change your life.
Yeah.
It's not always about money. And so when you're building wealth, these are little things that you're building, and the wealth is going to come. But sometimes the money aspect of it is not directly tied to one thing. It's not, you're not going to make a whole bunch of money in the beginning, because you have to build your network.
Yes. You have to work with these people and you're gonna see the same people over and over. The people that is worked to be worked with, you're gonna see them again, and see them again, and see them again. So you have to be good with people. That is one thing. Another thing that is very important if you're gonna do this, you have to, like he say, you have to surround yourself with people who know. You have to put yourself in the position that you're the one who is employing you, attorney. Yeah. You're giving the job to your attorney. You're giving job to the title company. You're giving job to the contractors, to the architects. You have to put in the position that they're not giving you a service. You're giving them to work for you.
Yeah.
So they work for you.
And I'm pretty sure, like in the last 20 years, there's somebody that was just an agent, just like you, that all of a sudden becomes an engineer or becomes an investor, or I see it so many times where people switch from one. So you have to treat everybody with that respect, because you never know who they're going to be tomorrow. And like I said, anybody can become a real estate mogul if it's what you want to do, and you do your due diligence, you do your research, you tie yourself with the right people.
Yeah, be fair. Be fair.
Yeah.
People. If somebody does that for you, you have to compensate that person.
Yeah, there's no real, like, sometimes there are times where things benefit you and you could win, but there's really no shortcut. No. If you get rich fast or you make too much money fast, you could lose it just as fast. So that's why I try to stay humble. I try to stay networking. I try to stay, even, it's funny. We were trying to buy property in Florida. I think I missed the window, and it was like right before COVID. And little did I know, like, there was just nothing. Like, the closest I could get to a deal was like a trailer park. Like, there was like a 500 square foot condo that was going way over asking, because I was going to auctions. I was looking to buy something for auction. And I said, man, Florida is hot. And then here you go, this year, article comes out, and Florida is like the hottest market, like it improved dramatically. And I was looking at Orlando and forget about Miami. Forget about it. I couldn't get anything.
As soon as I heard Florida that it was coming up, I knew they
were going
to. So I bought in Naples.
Yeah.
Like 45 minutes away from Naples.
Okay.
Coral Gables.
Yeah.
So I bought like 7 lots, one next to the other. I bought it for cents. I bought it for like $8,000 each lot.
Wow, that's good.
Wow. After that, I wanted to build, but this guy who was a builder down there offered me
a lot of money just for the lots. And that's exactly how it is too. You hold on. Because I bought lots too, and next thing you know, they're building some amusement park, and I think Port Lucie. That's what it is. Port Lucie. They're building all kinds. I said, man, you go down there and go to the auctions, things are flying. Like, everything is going over price. I said, man, so and for that auction, you actually have to fly into Florida. Now, most auctions are actually online.
Yeah,
which makes it even more competitive, because you could be in Europe, and you could be in California, you could be anywhere in the world and be in this auction. You just have to follow the rules, and you have to pay money and register with the county to participate, and register your organization. But it's interesting. This real estate game is like, like now, I don't know if like Detroit, it's too late now. Like, I was looking at Detroit 3 years ago, and now everybody's out. Like, the thing about real estate and building wealth, once you hear about it, it's too late.
Yeah.
Once somebody says something is on the rise, it already risen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do your research. What is next? What is next?
What is next?
To a hot spot.
Yeah.
And it's really cheap to buy next to a hot spot.
Right. Where are they going to rebuild? Where are they going to? Nashville, Tennessee 5 years ago. I was looking there too. I was looking there right before COVID, but I was too late then. Nashville now, forget. It's crazy. It's just, I was a step behind a lot of these things, and I was like, man, if I was a step ahead, I'll be rich right now. But it is what it is. I'll find whatever's next and figure it out. And if I don't, I have whoever's doing it on the podcast. Yeah. So So it's a family business. I still haven't met your brother. I know you keep mentioning you got to call him. I thought he was a figment of your imagination. It's like every time I'm like, your brother didn't see this building. What do you mean?
Yeah. We my other sister, she's in charge of real estate. Yeah. Actually.
Oh, okay.
So she's the one who is pushing the deals to be sold.
Okay.
Me and my brother, we're the one who founded the business. We were agents, and then we start building, and then we're still flipping a lot. And now we're buying to rent. So we're looking for apartments.
Oh, okay.
For multifamily.
They're big units, which we're trying to find, but it's like some of these things are not. Well, we're gonna figure it out. One day it's gonna all work. It was funny. I was telling my wife, like, sometimes people forget, like, just because you have resources and you can buy things doesn't make it easy to buy, because you still got to shop. And when you're shopping, you see things and you're like, oh, it sounded better on the internet, or the numbers look good. And then you see it and you're like, oh, it's not that great. So sometimes you go through up and downs and you see things and things look great, but then you come back and you run the numbers, or you look like, and sometimes, and then you just got to go to the next and the next and the next. And then sometimes you can hit a streak where you get 4 in a row and you find buildings and you close them down.
Oh, yeah.
You find things, like, it's ebbs and flows. And it is just funny because, like, this market now, it's like, it was good. Like the beginning of summer, there was things. There were a lot of opportunities hitting the market, but now it's just, in this fall market, it's atypical, because normally right now there would be way more deals on the market than we're seeing today.
Yeah, everybody's scared. Even lenders.
Yeah,
lenders. They don't wanna lend their money because they're scared.
The interest rate. Yeah,
they're scared that it's gonna be, private lenders. Don't even say the banks.
Yeah,
the banks have check out every aspect of your life before they give you $1. So private lenders, they're keeping their money too.
Yeah, that underwriting process is crazy.
Yeah,
I just remember getting nightmares, man. You think, they know if anything you did in school, they know your grades. They know, like, underwriting for a bank. I don't know if they hire a PI or what, but they turn every stone before they give you $1.
Yeah. They this lady was applying for a loan, and the underwriter called me and said, why she stopped paying a phone back in 2011. I don't know. She didn't even remember.
When I bought my home, they called me. It was like, in 1996, what happened with you in Sprint? Why was your Sprint bill so high? I was like, are you kidding me, man? Oh, it was like, because back then in college, they were giving you those, these kids don't know, you had to get a calling card. Like, it was crazy. You had no cell phone,
Oh, yeah.
You probably had a beeper back then, if that. Yeah, regular beeper. The 2-ways weren't even existed in 1996. So, yeah, my calling card was crazy, calling home from upstate New York. It was wild, man. So, yeah, they called me about that. I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. How do you even know that? Like, that one bill. Like, yeah, what you do with that Sprint bill? What happened? Why was it so high? I was like, oh, my God, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so when you go through, but also private lenders, like, you can build wealth using, but you have to have something, some kind of collateral or something that they see value in to give you money. And then it's very expensive.
Yeah.
That's the riskiest part of the business, is when you deal with we call it hard money, private lender, so you really have to stick to a timetable, and you have to get in and get out, or you're going to eat your profits.
Yeah. They're gonna get all your profit if you don't do your work,
due diligence.
Yes, with exact time frame. In 1 month you have to fix it. In 1 month you have to put it on contract. So in 3 months you can close.
Yep. And 9 times
to go like that.
Yep. And 9 times out of 10, you have to have the buyer before it's even done.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to give them a little bit of a deal so that they sign in and you lock somebody in. And in that way, when a home is done, you can move to the next house. But in different markets, there's different rules. I was reading, I don't know if you know, I forgot, I don't know if it was Ohio, I forgot where it was this big developer, and he had all these homes, and he sold one to this family, and they thought they were a lock. And because the value skyrocketed, so they got it like maybe at 400,000, and all of a sudden it was worth 600,000. So he flipped the contract to somebody else, and they lost the home. And legally, where that was, they couldn't do anything about it. The contract and everything, because they didn't hire an attorney, they didn't realize that everything was in favor of the engineer. Everything was of the builder. Everything was in favor for him to have total control. So he was going to win no matter what. And they lost. They got their deposit back, but they were homeless because they also sold their home and didn't know that he sold their other home. I was like, wow. Listen, the number one thing in this business is not just get an attorney, but also make sure you get an attorney, because also sometimes these big builders are in bed with attorneys as well.
Yeah.
So they might not be in your best interest when you're signing something, and then you look and you're like, oh, because he's getting paid from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very interesting business. You have to protect yourself at all times.
Yeah, no matter what you do, if you're a buyer, study the situation, get your own people. If you're the seller, own you people around. Work with the same attorney, same title, same contractors. So they can work on your favor. If you're a buyer, you have to hire the people you trust, because
Yeah, it's a crazy business. But Alex, how can people reach you if they want to like, you have properties for sale? Also, he's looking for a 20-unit building or better, or 15-unit or 14-unit or multi-unit building if you have available. He's the real deal. So he'll pick up something if it works out. How can they reach you?
Yeah, you can call me 917-215-0019. They can go to romerocapitalgroup.com. Yes.
And you also have properties for sale as well. He has some, he has some inventory if you're interested, if you're looking for a 2-family, single family. Most of the homes are like really like done nice, right? Like some nice.
Yeah, we do a really, really good job fixing the house. And if you're a first-time home buyer as well, you can get in contact with Christopher. We can give you the house before I do the construction.
Yeah. So you could also get a deal that way.
Yeah, you can get a deal that way. We want to help the community that way. So you can build the house. We can give you a house livable. You can build it in your own piece. You can build it your own way with time.
Yeah.
But you're gonna save
money, because
a lot, more than $100,000.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, with materials and everything on the skies, that you don't want to build everything at once. If you can, go little by little. First, nice kitchen, then nice bathroom, then new flooring.
Yeah,
we have a lot of very good livable properties that you can buy.
So listen, thank you for tuning in to the Chris and Nina Real Estate Podcast. Please download the Evening Rush app. Also, like and subscribe to the Chris and Nina Real Estate Podcast. If you have any question, we're on Instagram, Chris and Nina Real Estate, on IG. If you have any questions, also I could be reached at 516-506-3284. If you want to buy a home, sell a home, or you're interested in becoming an investor, please, anything. If you would like to see us talk to anyone on the show, if you want to see brokers or real estate, mortgage brokers, or I have connections. We can get anybody on the show as well. Or if you would like to be on our show, let us know as a home buyer to talk about your experience. We would love to hear from you. Have a great evening. From Alex, I'm Chris. Thank you for tuning in.
Have a good night.
Good night.